I usually set uniform 15, UHF 15 to the tower frequency, and you can just press set tower there, and it'll automatically put your preset uniform 15 channel to the tower out of whatever you're flying out of. So once you've set everything how you want, you can just hit save and close this out, and you're ready to fly. And next time you load up your data cartridge in game, all of that stuff will be saved. And you only have to do this once. Between every mission, this is saved. Every time you just come in here and you hit load, and it'll load up the last data cartridge you used. Already know that you know how to use a data cartridge. We're actually going to learn how to take the aircraft off and play around with the upfront controls. So I'm in the takeoff technical engagement, and we're going to go ahead and select takeoff, and we're going to select runway so the game fast forwards us right towards our takeoff time, and we don't have to sit through and ramp start the aircraft every time. Alright, here we are, ready to take off, and probably first thing you want to do when you're on the center line lined up is you want to turn your nose wheel steering off so you don't accidentally jerk the wheels out from underneath of you whenever you're taking off. And when you're taking off, depending on your loadout, you can either go all the way up to full mill on the throttle, which is just below afterburner, or if it's short runway and you got a heavy payload, you can actually go all the way up to full afterburner. We're going to use full afterburner here for this takeoff since we've got fuel to burn. And you're keeping the center line, you're going to wait till you get around 160, 170, and that's about when you rotate. And then make sure you get your gear up before you're going 300. If your gear is down when you're going above 300 knots, it's just going to get ripped like clean off, and that's no good. So while we're here, I'll go ahead and point out some things on the HUD. Right now we're in nav mode by default, and this little balloon here represents which way we need to turn to go towards our first nav point. What you do is you put your little flight path marker right here inside, or you put the balloon inside the flight path marker to be flying directly towards your waypoint. You can also hit on the keyboard by default, you can hit S and Shift S to cycle through your waypoints, and you see here on the bottom how it's cycling. Right now this bottom right number is the number of the steer point I've selected, and this number to the left of it is the range to that steer point. So I can hit S a few times to select the third steer point, and it will also put a little diamond on the ground where that steer point is, and it'll give me a range here in the bottom left. Okay. You'll also see here on the HSD, when I hit S and Shift S, it will fill in the steer point I have selected. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit more about the HUD and the upfront controls. An important thing on your HUD, let me actually zoom in here for you. Important thing on your HUD here, this bottom left set of numbers is your bearing and distance to bullseye. So if at any time you need to call out your